welcome to another episode of How I Got Over My Instagram Girlfriend, Higomig. Now, today we're talking about frenemies or friends and enemies. Now, a lot of people can't really see the difference, so you have to ask yourself a different set of questions. If you think that this person is your friend, you have to, one, look at the type of conversations you have. Are you able to check that person? Most importantly, is that person able to check you where you don't feel disrespected? And even if you do feel disrespected, are you able to take that person's advice? Especially if they're coming from a place where it's unbiased. Before we get into this video, I need you guys to do me a huge favor. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this video, because here, this video has the power to help somebody make it through a problem, get over a relationship, or move on from a relationship. Because let's be honest, we all have traumas, we all have flaws, we all have things that we must all individually work on. Let's get right to the video. So, number one, we're talking about frenemies. And the most important thing to really look at when it comes to a friend or enemy is the competition. Because competition can be dangerous, especially for women. Because, believe it or not, some of these women do not have your best interest at heart. They don't have your best interest in mind. When they're telling you, come on girl, let's go have a girls' nights out, it may be because they want your man. You haven't figured that part out yet though. It's dangerous not to know who's your friend and who your enemies are, because you may end up being surrounded by a lot of yes men or a lot of yes women, which means they're going to agree with whatever you do or say. Now, why is that dangerous? Because if you don't have somebody else capable of being a leader in your group, what happens when you guys go out, everybody drinks, and now there's not another leader to help make good decisions? So now everybody ends up in a compromised situation where you end up in jail, or you end up, in some type of accident. There's a difference between biased information that makes you feel good and biased information that doesn't make you feel good. I'll tell my best friend, like, look, man, come on. Y'all still together, bro. Y'all still talking. You still, you guys are still doing things as a couple. Whereas my situation, there is no communication. So I do my best to give the best advice that I can. But I don't look at myself as like this advice guru. I just look at myself as somebody who can help by sharing my experiences. Number two, the competition. Now, there's a silent competition amongst women that I don't know if every woman is aware of or if they're not. My ex chose to keep this particular friend in her life, not realizing the damage that it was doing to our relationship. Now, when this woman came back into her life, and by the way, this was an Instagram girl, this was an Instagram friend, a woman that I've never met. I was with this woman, I was with my ex for 2 years. I never met this woman. So I keep saying, how can this woman be a friend? You've never invited her over to the house. I know your kids. I know your mom. I know your family. I know your sister. I've hung out with them. We went on vacations together. We went on trips together. But this woman over here, I don't know anything about this woman. How can she be your friend? We've lived together for 2 years. So how close is this friend really? Now, some women date men based on what they think their friends are going to say. My ex is definitely a person who's on that side of the fence. Because on the one hand, she's saying, I'm talking about all these great times we had where we were just doing really simple things, really just getting to know each other, spending quality time together. Whereas now she's looking at her friends, and her friends are getting the Louis, the Gucci, the Prada, and all that type of stuff, but they don't have the other parts of their lives together. Meaning, okay, they may have all that stuff on, but they don't have property. They on Section 8. And look, I'm not looking down on anybody who's on Section 8. But when you're on Section 8 and you have Prada, Louis, Gucci, Fendi, you have all of that stuff, and then you're talking bad about a guy like me, it's kind of shocking. Especially when your homegirl has just said, man, they ain't got nothing. I would rather have the house, the car, the lifestyle over just the clothes. And I'm like, I agree, but guess what? We're going to get there. But she wasn't patient enough to get there because she was more interested in what these girls were doing over here. That's just my personal story. One reason as to why she might not have introduced me to these friends, or frenemies as I would like to call them, is because she had a situation with her baby daddy and her no longer best friend. So I'm like, okay, well maybe that's the reason I never met any of her Instagram friends. But all of the other friends that were her real friends, the people that she was close to, meaning the people that came to her house, the people that she actually did things with. Because see, there's a difference between the Instagram persona, right, which is a representation, and the actual person. There's things that they do as a person that's different from what they do on Instagram. Now, I'm saying this specifically because I know there's men out there who really will give an arm and a leg or a finger or something to date one of these Instagram girls, but they don't realize, like I didn't realize, what comes with that.
On my way, y'all. On my way. First session.
You could be a great guy. You could have it all together and not be able to provide one thing or maybe a few things, and then you have other guys over here who can provide those things, but then they lack in all of the other areas. So now vision becomes blurry. Number 3 is your frenemies may want your man, or they may want you. They may not want you to be in that relationship because they may need you for access. They actually may want you to themselves. Now, are you the type of woman that actually wants to get married? Do you want to be in a relationship with that person? Because they actually may be getting at you where you feel like, oh man, we're out, we're having a good time. It's girls' nights out. We all slapping and touching on each other's butts. Well, do you realize that those girls are bisexual and they're actually getting at you? I know you don't see what I'm looking at, but check this out. Because you didn't want me to go on guys' nights out. Right? Because you were scared that something may happen. So how am I supposed to be cool with you going out on girls' nights out? Now, I'm a cool dude. If you feel like you want to go on girls' nights out, you better believe I'm going to guys' nights out. A woman actually may want your man, especially if you're telling them about your sex life and how much you are receiving, how you are so satisfied to the point to where now your sex drive has dropped, because now you don't need as much intimacy because you're being satisfied, whereas you know your friends, your homegirls, are not receiving that because they've already expressed that to you. See, I know that there's a secret conversation that goes on where women actually express their true feelings to their friends, so their friends know if you're good in bed or if you're not good in bed. Men, just so you know, if you're big, small, medium, large, whether you know what you're doing or whether you don't know what you're doing, trust me, her homegirls, her friends, they know because she has told them, especially if they are single friends. Now, they actually might even be in relationships or marriages. What I'm saying is, in order for you to keep your relationship, it actually must be sacred to that person. Because if it's not, it's going to go somewhere else. So the problem is not knowing who your frenemies are. Here are a few questions to ask yourself as far as determining, and there's no real way to figure this out, but this is what I would challenge you to do. Ask yourself a question. When this person is giving me advice, what direction are they leading me in? And is that the direction that I see myself headed in? Number 2, do they say, hey girl, let's have a girls' nights out, or let's have a guys' nights out? Or Do they say, hey, hey girl, he cheated on you. You better go cheat on him. You better go ahead and go travel. You and your ex, y'all been talking and y'all been really like hitting it off. So you better go on ahead, going on down there. Yeah, he know your kids. So even if you got to take the kids, that's okay. Because look, he don't never want to go with you nowhere anyway. As you can see, I just relived a moment. Now, this was the advice my ex was giving to a woman she said was her friend. So after she told me all of this, I was like, man, that's the type of advice you would give to a woman who lives with her boyfriend, or that her boyfriend lives with her. Well, yeah, he's getting ready to move out. Wait, but that's the advice you would give to a woman who is in a compromised situation with children, with a man who doesn't have children? What if he gets angry, or what if he reaches some type of level of rage? Now you gotta worry about her plus the kids. What are we doing here? Oh, well, no, don't put that out on me. Listen, I wouldn't tell my friends to do no shit like that, especially if you live with the woman, especially if you love the woman. Now, what I would tell my friend is, hey, go ahead and, hey man, you gotta be intimate with her. You can't not be intimate with her. You live in the same house with her. Right? I would give that type of advice, not go ahead and go cheat. Break up with them. Move on. Do something different. Not go cheat on them, because now you have another layer of trauma. And some people can never get past the cheating aspect. So I have a question for you guys, because now we're going to cover the solution. So we got the problem, the action. The action is go ahead, go and hire a therapist. But when you hire a therapist, make sure that you go in with the intention of, I'm here to grow, to heal, to change myself.
On my way, y'all. On my way. First session.
So if that means I got to change things about myself to improve in my life, I'm going to do that. Go in with that intention. The next thing is meditate. Spend a little time with yourself. Figure out what it is that you actually like, and then execute on the things that you like. The affirmation that you guys can use, especially in your meditation, if you don't want to get in the mirror, smile at yourself. See how your eyes look when you really smile. See how your body perks up when you actually hype yourself up to go and do something. Tackle a tough day. Get ready for that tough business meeting. Whatever it is, you got to get yourself together. So after you get yourself together, go and do something. Because just meditating or just doing affirmations isn't going to do much if it's not followed by some type of action. Go get an unbiased opinion, or go get an unbiased person to tell you what you need to know. And here's the thing. Whether you pay for one session with that person or you pay three different therapists, figure out what the problem is, because the problem can actually be you. I was the problem. Why? Because I can control myself. Now that I can control myself, now I can make better decisions. So with that being said, I want to know, comment down here in this video. Let me know if you're able to spot frenemies and which ones you actually spend the most time with. Comment under this video below. Other than that, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.